Hi guys, welcome to Netgate Chemistry. So in the previous video of quantum chemistry, we were discussing about Hermitian operators and we have also discussed about the dagger. So in this video, we are going to start with the properties of Hermitian operators. So starting out, first suppose I am having A operator and B operator and their sum. And now I want to find out the dagger of it. Now how to approach this? We have discussed some of the properties of dagger, so we are going to use those properties here. Okay, so if we have A plus B whole dagger, so we can open it up as A dagger plus B dagger, right? Now we know that A dagger equals to A plus B dagger is equals to B. So when we are solving A plus B dagger, so we are getting A plus B back. So that means it is Hermitian, right? Now suppose I want to solve A minus B whole dagger. Okay, so how it will open up? It will be open up like this: A dagger minus B dagger. So A dagger equals to A and B dagger equals to B. So it is also Hermitian. So these two things which we have solved here, they give us one property, that is addition or subtraction of two Hermitian operators is Hermitian. Okay, so this is the first property. Now we'll move on to the next. Now suppose we have A and B operators and their commutation and we want to find the dagger of it. So we know how the commutation bracket opens up. It opens up like AB minus BA. Okay, now whole dagger. Now how it will open up? It will open up like AB dagger minus BA dagger, right? Whole dagger. So AB whole dagger will be written as B dagger into A dagger minus BA dagger will be written as A dagger B dagger, right? This is also a property which we have discussed. Now B dagger will be equal to B, A dagger equals to A dagger equals to A, B dagger equals to B. Now if I take out minus common from this, so it will become AB minus BA, right? The positive one will change into negative and the negative one will change into positive. So this is what? Minus of AB commutation, right? So here we solved the commutation AB dagger and we got minus of AB commutation. So from this we derive another property, that is commutator of two Hermitian operators is anti-Hermitian. Why anti-Hermitian? Because we are getting the negative sign, right? We are getting here the negative sign. That means it is anti-Hermitian, right? So this is the second property. Now moving on to the next. So third property is similar to this, that is the if we have anti-commutator of two Hermitian operators. Here we were having commutator of two Hermitian operators. Now we are having anti-commutator of two Hermitian operators. Will be Hermitian, okay? So I'm not going to solve for that. Now this is the third property. Now moving on to the next, fourth one. Suppose we are having A and B operators in multiplication and we want to find out their dagger. So it will open up like B dagger into A dagger. So it will be equal to B into A. So this is non-Hermitian because we know that for operators A into B is never equals to B into A. So this time it is non-Hermitian. But if A and B they commute, that means AB equals to BA, right? So what happens in that case? See, if AB is going to be equal to BA, then this BA can be written as equals to AB also, right? So AB dagger will be equal to AB. So that means what? That means product of two Hermitian operators is going to be Hermitian if operators are going to commute, right? If we are solving A, B whole dagger and we are getting B into A, then it is non-Hermitian. But if the operators are commuting, that means B into A can also be written as A into B. So that means A into B dagger, after solving we are getting AB. If they commute, then that means what? It gives rise to next property, that is product of two Hermitian operators is Hermitian only if operators commute with each other. So this is the fourth property. Now moving on to the next property, it says that eigen values corresponding to a Hermitian operator are always real. So we have discussed about eigen functions and eigen values. So always remember that whatever eigen values you will be getting after solving, so that eigen value should always be a real value and not a imaginary one. So I can prove that also, but we need not go into that much detail. If you want, then you can comment down below. I can make a separate video on that, but in this video we are not going to discuss about the derivation part of it. Okay, so you can simply understand one thing, that if you're getting the eigenvalues after solving an eigenfunction, so that eigenvalue should always be a real value and not an imaginary value, right? So with this, moving on to the next property, that says that product of an operator with its Hermitian adjoint is always Hermitian. It simply means that if we have an operator A, then if we have A dagger, then their multiplication is Hermitian. And also if we have A dagger multiplied by A, then their multiplication, that is also Hermitian. Okay. So far these are some of the properties of Hermitian operators which we need to understand, right? So after this we will move on to the next topic. I hope all of you are clear with the properties of Hermitian operators. So before moving ahead in quantum mechanics, we should know about Hermitian operators and their properties, and after this we will discuss some of the things about the wave functions, right? So in this video we have discussed all the properties of Hermitian operators. In the next video we are going to discuss about the wave function psi, which we are going to use very much in the subsequent videos. So we will discuss about the well-behaved wave function, what is a well-behaved wave function psi, and then we'll go ahead with the postulates of quantum mechanics, which are basically the foundation for studying the quantum mechanics part. So we will start with the postulates of quantum mechanics, and then we'll go ahead with the Schrodinger wave equation, time dependent and independent one also, and then we'll move ahead with further topics. So I hope so far whatever we have understood, that is clear to you. And one more thing I want to tell you, that quantum mechanics is a very big unit, and after some of the lectures we will be heading towards the hydrogen atom. So that is the main part which is difficult to understand. So one thing I wanted to clear, that when you're studying hydrogen atom in the first go, maybe you are not able to, you'll not be able to understand most of the part of it. So don't worry about that. If you're not understanding, most of the students give up at that part. So I would suggest just go ahead and watch those videos whenever they get uploaded. So what happens, in the first go maybe you are able to understand 20 to 30%, then when you revise it, you will move towards 50 to 60%, and the more you revise, the more you understand about the concept of hydrogen atoms. So do not skip that part if you are studying the quantum mechanics part, and I would suggest that you revise that part very effectively, so that you understand that part really well, and do not give up on that part. So that will be my little advice, because most of the aspirants leave that part thinking that that is a hard part. Definitely it is a hard part if you want to do it in a single go, but if you keep on revising it, you are going to understand at a certain point. So I hope this video was useful for you. So far that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.